fact that the Netroots progressive thing, the conference in Nevada, happened over the weekend, and how you had, I think, 3 people from one of the other networks there. One of them introduced a video from the president, and yet Fox is the one that is getting charged with being involved in politics. It's truly fascinating to me how there's only one bad network in America. It's amazing. Truly amazing. Harry Reid in his home state. This didn't make sense to me last week. Harry felt last week that it was time to announce the bad news for progressives, that cap and trade was dead. And I remember seeing that last week, and I said to somebody who was with me, I said, wow, that doesn't ring true. There's something wrong with that statement. And I started thinking about it this weekend, that they're in his home state, all these same progressives who were literally throwing stuff at Nancy Pelosi a few weeks ago. And he announces this right before that weekend. I thought, why would he do that? I mean, if Reid were smart, he would have just waited until after the weekend, you know, to proclaim cap and trade dead. When it comes to Harry Reid, that's a giant, enormous if, you know what I mean? So maybe he doesn't mind saying cap and trade is dead. Or there's another option. He doesn't mind saying that it's dead in Congress, because Congress no longer matters. They now have the financial bill and the health care bill. They got them both through. They're both law. And as we're finding out every single day, there's a lot more than just health or finance covered in these bills. Joe Biden said, quote, "Now that all the heavy lifting is over, we can go out and make our case." So they're done now. And they know they're going to lose. They've alienated almost everybody in the country, what, except for 40%, 30%? They've got the real zealots on their side, but everybody else is a little soft. They've got an 11% approval rating. Is it possible that they don't care about the elections of Congress, or at least those in the presidency? They don't care about the elections of Congress because they no longer need Congress. I warned you about structure being put in place. Watch. How many months ago did I say, please, please, America, don't debate, don't compromise on these things. There are things in these bills that you don't even know. They're building a machine and they're about to turn the darn thing on. I think we're at that time. I thought about this weekend, and Watchdogs, I need your help. We need you to scour these 2,500, it's 5,000 pages. I need you to scour these bills, and I need you to look for parts of a machine that will help make cap and trade unnecessary to pass through Congress. I believe they're turning this machine on with the help of Cass Sunstein. Again, the guy I've said from the beginning is the most dangerous man in America, because he's our regulatory czar. He's the guy that just takes the laws and then turns them into regulation. All these bills is someone else regulates. Well, Cass Sunstein is the guy who is that someone else. And when it comes to cap and trade, we don't have to look any further than the EPA. Oh, yeah, but the EPA, they're just protecting the... Yeah. These are the same people who thought it would be good to dump old tires and subway cars into the ocean to make reefs for the fish to live in. That, to me, sounds a lot less like helping the environment and more like throwing massive heaps of trash into the ocean. But they were fine with that. These are the same people that did a video contest touting how great government regulation is in, quote, every aspect of your life. And they now want to regulate air. Anna Marie Wood, senior political analyst at the EPA, said, and I quote, "We're considering all that right now and thinking about what might make sense. And that while the agency, quote, strongly prefers that Congress pass new laws dealing with greenhouse gases, quote, we think there's a lot of progress that can be made, you know, using certain tools under the Clean Air Act." Wow. America, I told you last week, they already have your life through health care. They have your pursuit of happiness. So you go out and you make a way for yourself through the financial regulation. Liberty is the only thing left in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They've got 2 out of the 3. There is a war being waged over your individual freedoms, but it's not being fought with guns and bullets. Back in March, Bloomberg reported that, quote, the Obama administration is considering a carbon trading system under existing law if Congress doesn't pass cap-and-trade legislation that allows companies to buy and sell the right to pollute, a U.S. Environmental Protection Agency official said today. Under existing law. They don't need anything else from Congress. Over 1 year ago, I warned Senator Jim DeMint. We have a 4-page document called the Constitution. We have 5,000 pages now that nobody knows what's in them. Congress didn't even read them. I warned the senator that Congress was quickly making themselves irrelevant.
I think Congress is overplaying their hand. More importantly, I think they're being outplayed and outmaneuvered. I think they are making themselves irrelevant to a massive new federal framework that Obama seems to be erecting, and with all kinds of czars and everything else.
They're going to do it with or without Congress because they can. Back in April of 2009, the EPA, quote, formally declared carbon dioxide and 5 other heat-trapping gases to be pollutants that endanger public health and welfare. Well, this is a necessary step before the EPA can regulate air. According to the Politico, the president would likely veto any legislation that proposes blocking any of these gas regulations. All that is missing here is the trade part. But to quote the EPA analyst, there's progress to be made. Despite no cap-and-trade bill, they're committed to getting cap-and-trade one way or another. Just like they're committed now to getting the public option passed. Here's Harry Reid.
I wish we had a public option. But we're going to have a public option. It's just a question of when.
You know, it's funny. I don't know what's going to wake your friends and neighbors up. I really don't. I don't know. Are they still saying it couldn't happen here in America? Is that what they're saying? I don't know what else it takes to wake your friends and neighbors up that their freedoms are being lost. They're being stolen in the cover of darkness. It's like these guys are wearing an invisibility coat or think they're wearing an invisibility cloak, and everybody can see them. You're like, no, your neighbors, no, I can't see them anywhere. They're right there. I have a sense that there is growing frustration in this country. I have a sense also that there are lunatics everywhere, on the left and the right, that have no problem killing, because that's what lunatics like to do. The average American, I fear, is about to say, oh, I give up. I give up. That's why they've been doing this to you for the last year and a half. What was it in Greece? I read this quote from Greece. They said, the Greeks had been trained to be passive. Don't you let them train that out of you. The question that Americans have to ask themselves, again, is another choice. Are you committed to the Republic? Are you committed to the idea of America, or are you now to the point where you're like, well, I don't know, and all that? To get to the answer of what you have to do and what the next step is and where we are, you have to think like an activist. I will show you how next.